Good morning, all. No, this market continues to wind the spring as it gets tighter here. It was this. Look at the gap down, and then the open and close right in the middle of the range. So indecision here. Selling but ending with indecision. A candle body in the middle of a range with long tails, and then an inside day. And this day is just starting. It's a 24-hour chart, S&P futures, but so far it's inside, and it's coming up to yesterday's high. An obvious reference point to see if prices can get through that. So that's what we use as our first reference point. Looking at it could be any time frame, but the daily time frame especially. The prior day's high and low is a reference point. Are we getting through the high or through the low? Then inside days obviously are just going nowhere or neutral. As already mentioned, this is getting tighter, and you see, and is it going to break to the upside? The weekly chart would say yes, of course. However, we did start looking at monthly charts, and let's get rid of the lines here. And it kind of puts in perspective a little bit more, the extension of where prices are from any support. And, to this point, it's just going sideways, and it can continue to do that. And it's probably the best thing long term for the market if it can go sideways here. It's never a pleasure, so to speak, to be sitting through a sideways market. But in yesterday's video, that's why I said you can move to the intraday timeframes when the dailies are just going nowhere. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ, and pretty much the same thing there. Just chopping around here, weekly in an uptrend, and inside day so far. We'll see if we can get through it. So the best thing is just stand aside from this for now, and either trade intraday or trade other things. Gap plays, for example, one that's gapping down relatively large here this morning is Grace. Now there's the 24-hour intraday chart here, the 30-minute chart. You can see where it's gapping down to just below 112. So you're looking at a pattern which is getting extended. It's far from the 20, multiple days moving higher, and then gapping down from there, and through some support. It'll stall here most likely, but it's certainly one that you would want to watch. Kind of term that I heard years ago from another trader, calling something like this short bait, meaning it's opened up the door for shorts to now to take advantage of it because of the gap in an extended situation. Now the timing of it, you have to wait for that to actually set up. As an intraday trader, that could be at the open or after 20 or 30 minutes. As a swing trader from the daily chart, it could be a week or two from now, since it isn't an uptrend. So something to keep an eye on. With the markets, up a bit here, a little surprised that this pattern here, is not moving higher already. Facebook, and that being here is a sideways downward consolidation within an uptrend in a stock that's obviously an institutional favorite. It broke above the highs here, and now going sideways, and yesterday closed with a bottoming tail bar near the high of the range. Typically this type of a pattern would be gapping up this morning, and what is it doing here? It's up about 6 cents. So is that part of a tell of the market is kind of tired here? Obviously it's going sideways. But, when you look at patterns that historically would result in a gap higher the next day and it's going nowhere, I'm going to pay attention to it, to see what this does, because it looks like a setup that should be able to pop through these highs here. And if it can't, that's going to be telling about this market. So we'll see what goes there. Now here's one that's coming back from the dead. G-Pro gapping up here this morning, and I haven't checked the news, but here's one that was loved by many and fell from grace and crushed, and it's been going nowhere for a while. And stocks like this historically rarely ever see their old highs, but they can have sizable moves after being knocked down like this. So it's moving up nicely. It had this move up a few weeks ago, and it's kind of pulling back to retest the support or the base that it broke out from. So a little retest pattern down here at the 200 MA and the 50, and now it's moving up. So one here to consider on some type of a pullback or a little consolidation. The pattern suggests it can go higher. Oil here taking a rest up at the prior highs. That might help airline stocks that have gotten really beaten down. So Delta had a really good day yesterday, a big wide range bar on volume, bottoming tails on the weekly at major support, downtrend on the daily. So these typically have to work out, moving sideways a bit or, try to get going. So, something to keep an eye on. And American. So you have others in the group that look similar. I can look at JetBlue here. Doesn't look as good. So, one of the things when you see a group or sector starting to turn around, you can then look at stocks within that sector to determine which ones are showing relative strength and relative weakness to pick the best in the group. And gold, which is looking pretty good, is up near some resistance here now. I would expect it to stall. Let's see how it reacts here up at that resistance, if it goes sideways or whether it starts to pull back a little bit. That's it for today, guys. I actually am in South Florida, right in the eye of Irma. So I'll be hightailing it out of here tomorrow morning. So I'm not sure that I'll be able to do a video, but better to be safe than sorry, because it's right in the sights of this monster storm that's coming our way. And Dan is going to be on his way out of here sometime today. So we'll be doing updates as we get resettled. And so any of you guys that are down here in this area, hope you all will be safe and take necessary precautions as well. Good luck. Bye-bye.